Hi, I'm Eddie Obeng, and this is How. Daily, I bring you a different way to look at the world. In a world of lots of change, where we're having to reassess which people we have in our organizations. There's competition not from other organizations, but also internally from other people, but also from the fact that computers seem to be able to mimic how human beings think and act using this artificial intelligence. And people are starting to rethink what do people do? What's the role of people? I'm going to help you with something which will help you not so much simplify as clarify what it's about. So let's jump onto Cube and have a look. So here we are, just outside the Change Ninja Dojo, which is where Dr. Tammy Watchorn runs the Change Ninja projects. I'm looking through the window. Let me sneak in. Ah, look, there's a ninja over there. This is a great cubicle, by the way. It's just got so much fun in it. Tammy's trilogy of the Change Ninja books. If you haven't read them, I would say go and have a look at them now. If you have, then read them again, okay? But it's a great cubicle. It's a place where you can basically earn your different belts and so on and so forth. So let's have a look at CAPRI. So what's CAPRI about? So over here I have one of our key employees at Pentacle. This is Quentin Cubot, okay? Normally, if you're an employee, the way you think about the world is you think about it in terms of your career. So I've just got a generic career image here. This is how you think about your career. But a few years ago, I had a pharma client, and we were talking about how they might think differently about what they're doing with getting people into the organization. And they were talking about human resources. And the funniest thing about human resources is people use the expression, but they don't actually treat people as resources, as a real resource. They treat them as mechanical aspects. So I was joking and saying, well, why don't you, if that's your sort of general approach, why don't we have a rethink about everything you do? Why, instead of thinking about the people you employ as people you employ, why don't we think about them instead of as people coming through a process from raw materials to finished goods? And why don't we approach it a little bit more like a manufacturing process? So they're seeing it as a career, you're seeing it as steps in a process. So let's have a jump down to have a look at what that might look like. So we have a situation where you might go out and hire some graduates. Okay, let's say you've hired some graduates. This is a little graduate over here. Is that graduate? That looks graduate-ish. For the usual joyful reasons, my pen is not behaving itself. But I'm not panicking because I'm Eddie, and I have technology, and I have Cube. So I will go onto Cube, and I will go and look for the drawing board. And when I find the drawing board, I will replace it on here. Okay, well, let me. And once I've replaced it, I will be able to, there we go. I'll be able to draw on that and ignore my silly machine, which isn't behaving itself. Cool, there we go. So we're going to have to draw on here instead. Good, let's go for it. So we have at the bottom of, let me draw a little organizational pyramid for you. So classic organizational pyramid. It's one of those days. Organizational pyramid, okay. So down at the bottom here, you might do some things like recruiting youngsters. So this is a youngster coming into your organization. So you say, I want to recruit this person. And there's a whole process of a board you have to go through to look at. They interview them endlessly. I'm never sure what they're looking for. Then during the rest of their journey in this organization, they have conversations. And about once every quarter, once every year, somebody says, well, should we consider you for a completely different position? And there's a conversation, and they go through interviews, and depending on whether people are being fired, and there's a slot, all sorts of weird things happen. So that's the sort of journey. And then by the time they've done a few of these things, they either hit the age where they're not going to work anymore, or maybe they leave a little bit earlier. But also, at the same time, sometimes your organization is doing something completely new. So when it's doing something completely new, I'm going to give them a green head. You might bring in people, not quite as junior people, but at different levels. Why? Because they bring, I don't know what they bring with them, something. And then you might move them through and figure out how they work with other people as the organization works. But also in terms of the context of the organization in the broader world. You might bring in board members, for example. And the board member might come in, and they would be in the position where you bring them in. And why do you bring in board members? It's not necessarily because of their capability or their ability to do something. It might be because they know other people or they bring information. And that's what CAPRI is about. It's about realizing that there's a journey of people through your organization, and you need an intelligent and balanced way of making sure that you can actually represent that. So this is Quentin Cubot. This is our mascot. And so I'm just messing around with Quentin Cubot. So assuming he was coming in, we'd ask ourselves 3 questions. Does he have the capability actually to do what we want? And if he doesn't, we'll have to think about that, okay? So if he doesn't have the capability and he's coming in brand new, you probably won't recruit or employ him. Okay? Can we grow them into that? Aha, yes, we can grow them into that. They don't have the capability, we can send them on a course. Can we empower them? Yes, we can do that. That will allow them to actually be more effective. So you're looking at the mechanisms which you would normally use for trying to drive the change. But there's 2 other things which are as important as the capability of someone to do so. The second, do you have a corporation? Do you have a business? Do you have a public sector entity? Do you have values? Do you have a culture? Does their attitude fit the culture? Does their attitude fit the job they're supposed to be doing? Does their attitude match what the customers need? And then potential. Okay, you've brought them in, they've done this thing, but can they grow? Or are you going to have to sell them, i.e. de-recruit them immediately once they've done what's required and it's out of spec? Can they grow into something else? What's their potential? And I think when you're bringing someone new in, these are the 3 questions you're asking about: capability, attitude, and potential. But like in the senior roles, you're asking questions other than those, which are things like, well, who else do they bring with them? What's their reach? What's their influence? You know, them coming to join us, will other people suddenly start opening their doors for us? And always you're trying to work out, do I need this? Do I need to change it? What mechanisms have I got for growing it? So with Quentin Cubot, I said, yes, he can do it. We're going to empower him. And the way we're going to monitor whether it's working or not is through the number of thank you letters. So that's CAPRI. It's basically we're thinking about all the people flowing through your organization, but making sure that the questions you're asking actually support what you do, rather than just focusing on one aspect. Like, I like his attitude, or he might grow into it, but they can't actually do anything at the moment. We've suffered a lot with AI. AI, I think, is fascinating because the whole argument around AI is about capability. Yes, maybe it can work as fast as someone else, but is it as nice to a customer? Does it have the right attitude? Does it have that mindset? Does it fit the culture? Will it grow? Can it understand how to connect to other people, new capabilities? Does it bring with them other people? Do people go, oh, I'm going to go and work with your company because you've got the right AI, etc.? No. So AI is a small subsection of the reason that we work together in enterprises to create the magic which our customers and clients need. I've been Eddie Obeng. There is a quick guide, as always, https://cube.cc/CAPRI. And if you can't get to the quick guide, subscribe to the newsletter and we'll send it to you. Nice to see you.